The motivation for this video comes from this CSS Keylogger example shared on Hacker News, Twitter and Reddit, and it's incredibly popular. The GitHub repository with this example has thousands of stars after just a day, and I find this quite fascinating. But before we get into this particular example, let's go back in time to 2012. In 2012, almost 6 years ago of this video, I was still at the beginning of learning more about security. I was still reading and learning a lot of the very basics, like basic XSS vectors with script alert, and a friend of mine invited me to a small closed hacker conference. And so there I am, a complete noob, feeling like I don't belong there watching these talks. And there was one talk called Scriptless Attacks in a Post-XSS World by Mario. So the premise of the talk, as you can infer from the title, is about a world without JavaScript and without XSS issues. It's a thought experiment first and foremost, because having such a situation where you have an HTML injection with no JavaScript context is rare. Maybe with more and more content security policies a bit less rare, but in the grand scheme of the web, one could argue that it's irrelevant. Or not really impressive, because it might not have much impact. But to me, this was blowing my mind. This is research, this is posing an interesting question, and it makes you think about everything in a much more intricate way. You can learn the basics of XSS in an afternoon, but then pushing the boundaries and learning how far you can take that is where you get really good at it. So, what if we defeat XSS? What attack surface will remain, and will it make a difference? First of all, you have to think about what even our goal is. What would be the goal of a XSS? So in general, we want to steal or access data we are not supposed to access, and we want to do this with HTML that we can inject into the target website victim visits. So this talk shows a lot of different techniques and tricks using various features to extract different kind of information from the site. That could be logging keystrokes, or could also mean access form data such as a CSRF token, a password or a credit card number. This talk is actually based on a paper with the same name, and Mario gave this talk several times, and I link a recording in the description.
But we had the rule for this talk, for this thought experiment, to not use any JavaScript, to not use any XSS. So the question is now, how can we mitigate or bypass CSRF protection by just using CSS and other inactive stuff, not using any JavaScript at all? Can we do this? Well, some other people did this already some years ago, and I think there was also a Bluehead talk, an excellent one too. It was Sir Darkat, Gareth Hayes, and David Lindsay. They already did it. And there's still a demo out there you can have a look at. And they also use CSS, cascading style sheets. So what they did, they were abusing attribute selectors. And then we say like, hey, select everything that has a value, or every input element that has a value that is starting with the letter A, and give it a background image that is indicating that we have the letter A. So if there was the letter A as the first letter, it was sent out. Same with B, C, D, E, F, G. And they could also do this with the last letter or with some letter in between. What they could not do is select me the nth character. So they couldn't say like, hey, select me an element where the second letter is actually the A, B, C, or D, or whatever. So they had to brute force a lot. They had to write a lot of CSS to make this happen. There was like loads, like literally megabytes of stuff they had to inject. So it was not very feasible. Also didn't scale, and attackers like to scale.
And then Mario shows a more efficient and more insane technique to pull this off. But as he pointed out, this idea with attribute selectors loading background images was already introduced previously by Eduardo at no clue how to say that, Gareth Hayes and David Thornmaker. Now let's fast forward to 2018 to a tweet I came across in February by Mike Gualtieri, who apparently discovered this again independently. You can see how he explains the CSS attribute selectors and then used the same background image loading trick. He put a lot of effort into this, wrote a detailed article calling it stealing data with CSS, and even wrote a Chrome and Firefox extension that is removing these CSS rules as a form of protection. I feel a little bit bad for him because I think he thought he stumbled over something new, but it was just a rediscovery. But yeah, this can happen and happens in security a lot. Different teams find stuff independently and maybe years apart. And it's such an obscure technique as well that it's very likely you haven't heard of it before if you don't spend a lot of time with browser client-side security. And I guess I was just lucky that I saw Mario's talk in 2012. Now, a couple of days later, this CSS Keylogger example turns up. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or if it was inspired by this article, but this person created an extension that simulates a CSS injection into a page to steal characters entered into an input field. You can see the injected CSS here. It uses CSS attribute selector for an input password field and depending on the value embeds a background image from a URL, which is sending that character to a server to collect it. Though there's one small detail here that is quite interesting. You see, the CSS attribute selector works on the value attribute, so it doesn't work in a plain HTML example. Even though the enter text is available via the value property on the input element, it's not the attribute value. So the CSS selector doesn't kick in. That's also why the password stealing example of the blog post actually sets the value of the input element it wants to extract the characters from via a get parameter. So this is a technique to steal attribute data. So another good target for this techniques is a CSRF token that is usually set as a hidden input value. But the GitHub example worked on inputs where you just type in. Well, that's the small detail that is quite interesting. Essentially what is happening is that a lot of JavaScript frameworks such as React react on events like typing into a field and automatically propagate these values to internal variables, but also properly set the value attribute of the input element. So essentially it can be boiled down to this example. On each key up event we set the value attribute to the value property. As a test I have defined here a single rule that only kicks in when the character X is detected. So when we now test it and type something in the field, we see the value attribute updating accordingly, and with an X, the CSS rule kicks in, and that could be used to extract the data. You can easily observe this behavior on the Instagram login form as well. So if Instagram had an HTML injection and for some reason you couldn't execute JavaScript, you could use that to steal some input form data. Pretty neat behavior, right? Okay. So I don't want to talk down this research, and I'm definitely not saying this research was stolen or anything. I give them the benefit of the doubt, especially Mike seems to be very genuine and discovered it by himself, which I think is impressive and is proof that he is very creative in his thinking. I mean, I didn't come up with this, and I'm not sure if I ever would have. I just knew about it because I heard it in a talk. But I think it's an amazing example of research that has been done in the past and is rediscovered or resurfaces in a way. The numbers of people interested in the CSS Keylogger example shows that a ton of people have never heard about it, didn't realize it was possible, and so now more people learn about it. And that's awesome. So I hope I made it clear that there is research contribution I acknowledge, and I don't want to be one of those people who boast of themselves for having heard of it already in 2012. However, I want to put this also into perspective, and I have to criticize a few things. The name CSS Keylogger. Okay, maybe the person who created it didn't anticipate how popular it will get. It's a short descriptive name and somewhat fitting, but damn, this is easily misinterpreted by most people and it's fear-mongering. When we hear keylogger, we usually think of a malicious malware running in the background recording every keystroke, and that is terrifying. Then sometimes we hear about browser keyloggers, and that already is a bit more nuanced because it usually refers to keystrokes captured on one particular website via JavaScript, which usually is also fear-mongering by piggyback riding on the keylogger malware term, because in such a context it's not a system-wide keylogger, and the JavaScript could do other stuff that is worse than just logging keys. And now this CSS example is even less impactful than that. This specific example can only capture attribute values, and usually only CSS injection without an XSS is quite rare. Like Mario already stated in 2012, it's more of a thought experiment and an interesting research question, rather than something realistic. There are some interesting edge cases. For example, how about Reddit that doesn't allow JavaScript but CSS customization? And so you should know this techniques exist when you are looking for security issues, but it's pretty much irrelevant for most of the world. The real world impact might be low, but like I already said, it is a mind-blowing idea. It's maybe comparable to the discovery of a new distant planet in a habitable zone. Many people say, who the F cares about this here on Earth? We have real problems. But it is awesome research. It is pushing the boundaries of technology and it's helping us understand the world better. And so these CSS attacks help us understand web technology and threats better, and that in itself is already awesome. But it's a problem when this travels so far and gets so popular, scaring so many people. This and many more techniques have been known for like a decade, and that is proof that this is not a problem or an attack you have to worry about. So just chill, look at the underlying technical data, ignore the FUD about de-anonymizing Tor users or keyloggers, and just appreciate how you can twist CSS to do insane stuff.